Hello and welcome to episode number 41 of James Bond Radio. My name's Tom Sears and I'm joined by my good buddy Chris Wright. Say hello, Chris.
Hello, Chris.
Now, we've got some big news for the JBR listeners this week, haven't we, Chris?
Have we? Big news? We never have big news. What do you mean big news?
Well,
what are you talking about?
We've got some big news this week in that there's going to be some changes around these here parts.
What? Are you getting rid of me already?
Yes, I'm getting rid of you. I'm getting rid of myself. There's going to be two new presenters. Not really. What's going to happen is James Bond Radio is going weekly. Whoa! That means Chris and I will be coming in your ears every Friday. Isn't that amazing?
Do you want to rephrase that bit?
No, I'm going to stick with it. We're going to be coming in your ears every Friday.
We are going to be coming in your ears. You lucky people.
So I guess the way we could look at this is that our last episode, The Spy Who Loved Me, was a 4.5 hour behemoth. So this is like the Casino Royale to that episode's Die Another Day, or the For Your Eyes Only to that episode's Moonraker, where we went out with 4.5 hours and then we're back with a new revitalized kind of format. So
how has it changed then? Let us know. What's the differences?
So basically what's going to happen is we're going to do an episode every single week. It's obviously going to be a bit shorter. You're not going to get 4.5 hours of JBR every week, but we're going to be with you every single week, and we're going to be doing a monthly news roundup, which is going to be today's episode. We're going to still be looking at things like movie reviews and doing big two-parters and stuff like that, but we're just going to make it more of a kind of a bit more variety involved, I guess you would say. So we're going to have some like special spotlight episodes where we look at specific characters. We're just basically mixing up the format, aren't we, Chris?
Yeah, exactly. And I think after 41 podcasts is probably quite a good time just to have a bit of a change, mix it up, make it fresh and vibrant for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is it's going to be weekly now. So every Friday morning you'll have us as usual in your ear rolls. So it's going to be lovely.
Just imagine that. You don't have to wait. 2 weeks is quite a long time for some people. We've had some messages, from people that have, they really don't like the alternate Fridays where there's no JBR.
Yeah.
And now they'll have a smile on their face when they wake up. So
absolutely,
all's good.
So there we go.
The world will be a happier place.
There we go. Weekly JBR from now on in. Good stuff. So what have you been up to this week?
This week now, we can talk about weeks. Well, it's been quite busy really. I went to, last time I mentioned about doing a location video for a secret sort of visit that I had. But I can now announce that it was the land of Amsterdam.
Very nice.
That I went to, which was a brilliant country. I'd never been before, lots to see, lots to do, quite, I think Fleming would have loved Amsterdam. Had Fleming been to Amsterdam? I'm not sure. I'm sure he must have done at some point. Yeah, but it's a very kind of like our new take on the podcast. It's a very vibrant and fresh sort of city. But I had a good time, and obviously some of Diamonds Are Forever was shot there.
Without, do you know what the question on everybody's lips, Chris, is? Did you go and see the Skinny Bridge?
Oh well, you'll have to wait and see until the location video is up.
Very nice.
But I might have done.
Very nice. I'm excited. Anybody's fished out the river?
No, I was half tempted to jump in and get someone to pull me out just to reenact it, but I didn't think anyone would see me, and then I'd probably get quite cold and wet, and it might not have worked.
Very nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your on location videoage. That's going to be some good fun. Ask me what I've been up to this week.
Okay, Tom, what have you been up to this week?
Well, you never guess who I bumped into.
Mr. Blobby.
No, it wasn't Mr. Blobby. That's a name out of the past. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you who I bumped into. The other day, I'm walking along. I think it's time to go to the supermarket. I'm going to go and get something to eat. I walk through the door of the supermarket. I turn and I see somebody waiting in line at the checkout. Who do I see? I see Xenia Onatopp herself, Miss Famke Janssen, right?
Wow.
Now, totally unexpected, obviously. I'm going to the supermarket with the missus. She, as we're walking through the door, we both spot her, and the missus sort of has that recognition. She's like, I know that face from somewhere. She's about to turn to me and go, who's that? I'm sure that's somebody I know. Before she even has the chance to turn around, I'm like, oh my God, there's a Bond girl in here, there's a Bond girl in here. And she's like, and then I'm explaining who it is as quietly as I possibly can, trying not to freak out too much. Now, with the way things are, the way that supermarket's laid out, you come in the entrance, and then there's all the checkouts to your right immediately, and then there's like a line of people waiting to go, and she's literally at the front of the line with her shopping. And I'm like, you got to get a picture. You got to get a picture. So sadly, the missus's phone was just chock full of stuff. So she's frantically trying to delete things while I'm waiting there. And Famke is currently gone up to the cashier and she's doing her stuff and she's kind of standing sideways onto me. So I was like, come on. And then it was like a countdown thing. There was like seconds to go and there she is frantically trying to empty her phone. So we get to a point where I'm like, let's go over here. So the missus is stood by the door. I'm stood in front of the missus between the cashier and the door as Xenia, or Famke as I should call her, but I'll call her Xenia, comes out with her shopping, walks straight past me as the missus takes the photo. Now, exciting.
Did she see you?
Now, well, this is the thing, right? It was a very exciting moment and I got caught up in it. And then afterwards, I thought to myself, oh man, I feel really dirty after that experience now I've done it. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, when I first laid eyes on her, and I like to think I played it cool, I didn't react too harshly. I was very casual about it.
Didn't dribble.
And a little bit dribble. She didn't look like she was in the most sprightly of moods to begin with, right? Now, I don't think there's any way she didn't see the missus taking the photo of me. I don't think there's any way she could have not noticed that was going on.
And she wouldn't have thought that your missus was just taking a photo of the supermarket because it was really nicely laid out and everything like that.
Exactly, yeah. Now, as it happens, as I'm there looking at my photo and being like, yes, I look out the window and she's sitting with some dude outside on all these bench tables eating a lunch. And as I look over, the body language says it all. She's sitting there and the arms are going and she's complaining about something and she doesn't look like she's in a good mood. Now, there's part of me that goes, either she was in a bad mood to start with, right?
Yep.
And she was complaining about something else. Or she was in a bad mood to start with, and it was compounded by the fact that there I am in the supermarket trying to sneak a photo of her doing her groceries. Yeah. And all of a sudden I had this wave of guilt come over me. I'm like, oh, shit. The last thing I want to do on planet Earth is piss off one of my Bondian heroes. And I think I might have done it in the supermarket.
Well, you know what I think? I think possibly she might have been method acting and maybe she was, getting into character of a really angry woman. And she was obviously, building up her sort of part of her character and the character was...
Maybe. It's too bad she wasn't like trying to crush me with her thighs because that would have been cool.
Yeah,
but
that would have been
awesome. Would have been cool. But as I'm walking away, I'm thinking, I feel like I've just ruined her day a little bit, and I feel bad about it. And I'm in two minds now. Whenever I come across people like that in the future, like Bondian people, whether to just not go for the photograph. I don't know. I'm in two minds. I really don't know how to play it because I do feel like I pissed her off, and I don't want to piss off Xenia. I want her to love me. Do you know what I mean?
So did you walk right past her when you went out? Or
yeah, sort of. We had like this plan whereby when we left, we weren't even going to look in her direction. Then that would have given her an element of doubt in her mind that maybe, just maybe, I wanted a photo in front of the fruit and veg, not in front of Xenia Onatopp.
But you couldn't help yourself and you shouted, "I can't breathe!"
Yeah, because as well, the other thing to consider as well is that she's got the whole X-Men thing going on as well. So I imagine she gets a lot of hassle about that. That's probably what she's mainly known for, I would have thought, amongst non-Bond people. So I don't know, but I've got my photo with Xenia, so it's cool, but I do feel a little bit grubby from it afterwards. That's been my Xenia Onatopp experience. But what I will tell you is she's really, really tall. She's actually taller than I am. So I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. So I'm just a touch under 6'1". So she must be I guess she was probably wearing heels. I'd say she's 6'2", 6'3". As she walked past me, I was like, fuck. She walked past me. I wasn't expecting that. But she hasn't aged a day since 1995. She looks exactly the same. Like that person was destined to be in the movies or a model or something because she's just such a striking looking woman.
See, if you had said that to her, she might have loved it.
Well, maybe she would have, but I'm just not smooth enough. I crumble. I wish I could have gone up to her and been like, hey, let's have a little chit chat. But I couldn't.
While your missus is there, it might be a bit tricky as well.
That might have been a bit of a problem here, but there we go. So that's what I've been up to this week.
Wow.
Embarrassing myself.
That is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty... See, you've had quite a few Bond girl experiences with old Maud as well, and now Famke.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to ramp it up.
The Maud one was a good experience. I would take that one with me to my grave. I love that. But Xenia, I kind of messed up with, I think, a little bit. Bless her heart.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure, just think that she happened to be walking past and, her gyrating was nothing to do with your photo.
Yeah, fingers
crossed.
That's
fine. Yeah.
So you've been up to anything else?
A couple of things. Something that I'm going to do hopefully next week is watch Survivor, the Brosnan movie that's out. That looks pretty good, and I've seen a trailer for it, but I'll have to give a little sort of review on it once I've seen it.
He's the bad guy now, isn't he? He's like a hitman style.
He is. Yeah, and he doesn't normally play them, but he's got to have some. There's always some Bondian elements with Pierce. He does love playing characters that are somewhat Bond related.
Oh, of course.
Whenever you see him with a gun, whether he's a goodie or a baddie or whatever, he's always dressed smart. Well, most of the time he is, and you can't think of anything else, can you? And you know that he loves it. So I really hope he busts out some Bond.
Well, that's totally. I mean, the man was born to play James Bond. When at the end of the day, it's like from Remington Steele all the way through to now. There's always that little hint of it, of course. Yeah. Totally. But let us know how that one goes. Cool.
I will.
That sounds good.
I will indeed. I've also been doing a bit more training, a bit of running, a bit of cycling and stuff like that. So thanks again to everyone who's sponsored me so far. That's really, really generous of you and really kind and really good for the charities as well. So I'll keep that going.
Good stuff. That's the old that must be coming up soon, the 3 Peaks challenge and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
well, the 3 Peaks is tomorrow. So I'll literally be halfway up a mountain while people are doing this. I might even take the podcast with me and keep me motivated.
Have a listen. Yeah, there you go.
Have a listen.
So if you want to sponsor Chris, go over to the JBR website and look at this post, and there'll be some links underneath. It's all for some good causes, isn't it? Disadvantaged kids, and the other one was for prostate cancer, which is very important because our prostates are all very important to us, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah, my one, I kind of like my one. And I just hope it stays okay. And just the only other thing, I've been reading a couple of Bond books actually. One of them was The World According to Blofeld's Cat, which is there, which I've been reading, and it is perfect. I think we mentioned this before, but it is absolutely perfect toilet material.
Very nice.
You can sit down, and it's easy to flick through the pages. And it's kind of like the musings from the POV of Blofeld's Cat, and it's good. It's really humorous and it keeps me going. I've not finished that yet, but it's definitely worth a read.
Very nice.
And there's another book actually that I've read called. This is by Andrew McNess, and the book is A Close Look at a View to a Kill. Now there's the cover. Obviously, it's a bit like the airship and the Golden Gate Bridge. Now this one it's got me really excited about reviewing A View to a Kill. I know we're not there for a while. But after I went to Amberley, the chalk pit that was used for the mine exterior, and reading this book, I'm like proper pumped to do A View to a Kill. But I'll have to have another quick read before we do it again because it's really good. It's a nice take on it and everything.
Do you know what? I'm really excited about that one myself. I feel like that is a Bond film I've always sort of poo-pooed a little bit. And I've got a feeling as we approach it, I'm looking at it from different angles these days and some stuff I've read about it in recent times. I think that might be a big turning point for me in the bondage, whereby when we watch it, I think I'm going to see it with a completely fresh perspective this time. So I'm excited to get to that one, dude.
Yeah, I am. It's strange. If I had to say to you, okay, pick 2 films that you're looking forward to review, one kind of obvious maybe that you're most looking forward to, and one out of left field, what would you say out of the ones that we've got left to review? So
looking forward to, I think out of the ones I've got left, there's more than one. But I'm looking forward to GoldenEye, looking forward to Casino, especially. Those are my 2 big ones. Ones I'm not looking forward to, aside from the most obvious one.
Well, not looking forward to, but sort of the ones that are left field that people might think you're not looking forward to, but you actually are.
Okay, so A View to a Kill is definitely one. I would say I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Tomorrow Never Dies again. because I haven't seen that one in many a moon.
Yeah.
And I remember loving that when it first came out. But it's one of those films, isn't it, that it tends to get sort of amongst fans' opinions. They sort of, it's not a popular one usually. Most people I would say is like, oh, Brosnan's best was Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, and World Is Not Enough, and Done, and they were all a bit rubbish or whatever. That seems to be the general consensus at the moment, which obviously I don't agree with. But Tomorrow Never Dies, something that a film I haven't seen in a long time. I remember thinking the last time I watched it that it was a bit Americanized. It felt at the time more like a sort of more generic action movie than a Bond film as such. But there's some classic stuff in there, so I am looking forward to getting stuck into that one actually and revisiting that one with some fresh eyes. Yeah.
They're all good.
They're all good. How about you?
Well, one that like you, I've got more than one. There's three that I'm really looking forward to reviewing, which are Octopussy, Living Daylights, and Casino Royale. Those are the three that I'm really amped to do. And then left field, A View to a Kill is definitely one.
Yeah.
Maybe Die Another Day out of interest. I don't know. I suppose no.
That's going to be an interesting one when we get there, in it, because I don't quite know how we're even going to get through that. I don't know how that's going to work, but I think it will possibly be one of the most interesting episodes we ever do when that finally comes around. Yeah, but hey ho, cool. That's a little while off yet, but we'll see. And Spectre, of course, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to come sooner rather than later. Okay, so before we crack on. Make sure you come and join us on Facebook. Just put James Bond Radio into the search box. Come and follow us on Twitter, which is @JamesBondRadio. Come and visit jamesbondradio.com. You can leave us a voicemail on there with a big button on the side that says leave us a voicemail. And I'm loving the actions you're providing with these instructions. It's great, man. Good work. Only those who are watching on YouTube will know what I'm talking about, but it's good. You can come to the website and join in the conversation in the comments section. That's always good. Obviously, we've got the JBR news maestro Linda Zhu doing the This Week in James Bond news blogs and stuff, which you can keep up to date on all the news and join in on the comments and all that kind of stuff. And last but not least, come and subscribe to us on iTunes, because that really helps us in terms of visibility. The subscribing is the important bit, so you never miss an episode. And also, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a lovely glowing 5-star review as well, that really helps us out too. So in our inaugural episode of our new kind of format, let's pose a little bit of trivia. Chris, would you like to begin, or shall I begin?
I think I'll begin this time because I think you went last time, but also I thought I'd go first.
All right.
Okay, so my one, now I thought I'd mix it up a little bit as it's a sort of special episode. So my trivia to the day is you have to match the cocktail with the film.
Ooh,
so I'm going to tell you some cocktails that are in the Bond, and you'll have to match it with the film that the cocktail's in. Okay,
this is going to be tough.
So we'll start. We'll start with some nice easy ones. So we've got Vesper.
Oh, okay. Let me guess. All right, go on.
Yeah, we've got Rum Collins.
Okay.
We've got Mojito.
Okay.
We've got Mint Julep.
Yeah.
And we've got Sazerac.
I'm actually doing quite well on that, I think, actually.
I thought you would.
There's only one of those I'm not sure of. All right, cool.
Oh, there we go.
My question of the day, my trivia question of the day is, before being issued with the Walther PPK and Dr. No, what gun was Bond using? Now, I want the brand name and the caliber, please.
Okay.
And for a bonus point, you provide me with why he's no longer using that particular weapon, which is an easy one. Cool stuff. Okay. So before we crack on with the James Bond news roundup of for this month, let's check out our theme tune.
Who are you? My name's Bond. James Bond. Bond. James. Bond, what do you think you're doing? Keeping the British hand up, sir.
Welcome to James Bond Radio. News, reviews, and discussion of all things 007.
Pussy. As you can see, I have no problem with female authority.
Oh, pipe down, 007.
You expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Okay, so I guess we can't do any kind of Bond news without talking about some sad stuff first, which is the death of legend, Mr. Scaramanga himself, Christopher Lee.
Yeah, it is a shame, isn't it? We've had a few of those last year when we had obviously Richard Keel, Jeffrey Hold. That we had quite a few that had passed away.
We had Baron Samedi Jaws. We had Arumov. He went. It's a shame. It was the year of the henchman, and then let's hope this is the only villain that goes this year.
Yeah, let's hope so. But I mean, Christopher Lee, what an absolute legend! Obviously, for myself and no doubt for you, Francisco Scaramanga is the epitome of that guy, and one of the best villains in the series by far, an immense character, and he stands the test of time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But outside of Bond as well, I mean, what a catalogue of films this guy has done. You're talking and characters. You're talking the best Dracula. You're talking Lord Summerisle, one of the scariest guys if you ever see The Wicker Man. Obviously, he's in Star Wars. He's in Lord of the Rings, obviously, as well. He's just in lots and lots of cracking stuff, and it is a sad moment when we heard it
is awful, but at the end of the day, man, he was in his 90s. He's had an amazing life, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to do like a special Christopher Lee episode coming up soon where we delve into that dude's life, because I mean, when you look back at what he's done and the actual, like, the caliber of that man is unbelievable, in the sense that he spoke multiple languages, like his career, his life in the war. He was actually in the special operations executive during the war, doing covert spying missions. The dude has an unbelievable life. And I looked on Audible, actually.
Ian Fleming's cousin as well.
Ian Fleming's cousin. I looked on Audible for his autobiography, but sadly there wasn't an audiobook version. And I think that's definitely worth a read. I don't know if anybody out there's read. He does have one autobiography out. I don't know if any of the JBR family have listened to that. Have read that. But with a dude's life like that, man, I can imagine that book would be amazing. But
I think they must maybe released one posthumously.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it'll kind of get a re-release and stuff like that in time for Christmas and all that kind of stuff. That usually kind of happens, doesn't it? But I
think the other amazing thing is that he was still acting right up until the last minute,
and releasing metal albums as well. Bizarrely,
yes, yeah. I heard that, and that was crazy, wasn't it? Was it a Christmas heavy metal album? Song?
I think he did one, maybe two of these albums where it was like spoken word versus like kind of music, and I don't. That's just completely out of left field, isn't it? Pretty bizarre.
Yeah,
but what strange. A dude! Yeah, what a dude! But as I say, we're going to do a Christopher Lee episode coming up soon, where we go deep on his career and the best moments of Scaramanga and all that kind of stuff. So Christopher Lee, we salute you for all your years of entertaining service. For most people, I would say he's remembered as Dracula, but for us, it's definitely Francisco Scaramanga. And all that stuff. So good on you, Christopher. So in other news, we've there's some more Bond back on the big screen, isn't there? Lately, there's the View Cinemas.
That's it. Yeah, they're doing a lot of them are doing sort of selected back-to-back Bond films. So they'll have a double feature in some of the View Cinema. I think the majority of View Cinemas actually, and there is one in Cardiff. So I'm going to check that out and see what ones are going. I think they've already started. So people have probably missed a few already, but if there's any View Cinema near you, any chance you get to see Bond on the big screen is worth doing, because, I've probably seen maybe 4 or 5, maybe half a dozen of the Bonds on the big screen, and I'd love to see them all.
Yeah.
And you get to see, it's like, like if you watch Blu-ray, you get that extra little something. Watching them on like a 20-foot screen or 30-foot screen or whatever, you get to see all these little extra things, and
it's how it was meant to be watched, isn't it? It's like when no matter how many times you've seen a Bond, when you see it on the big screen, it just takes things to the next level, didn't it? It was like seeing Goldfinger back in in April. It was just like, as soon as you hear that dan dan in the theme tune, you're just like, yeah, that is the business. Bond on the big screen, where he belongs. And of course, the Prince Charles Cinema, Leicester Square, the Bond retrospective is still going strong there. 21st of June is going to be Quantum of Solace. That's this Sunday. And then obviously all preceding Sundays, it's Skyfall after that. Then bizarrely, Majesties, Goldfinger again. Okay. After that, then You Only Live Twice, Live and Let Die. So they're playing them a little bit out of order at this point. But
that's interesting.
Hey ho, it doesn't matter. It's Bond on the big screen. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
Too right. So we had obviously we reviewed Spy Who Loved Me last time. One of our JBR listeners, Brian Dobson, came in and mentioned about a documentary which is easy to find on YouTube, just called The Making of the Spy Who Loved Me. Now, obviously, we've seen a lot of the extras on the DVDs and the Blu-rays and stuff like that where you get sort of nice little documentaries on it. But they're generally 20 minutes or half an hour. This thing is like a proper 3-hour sort of documentary all about the workings and the makings and everything that happened on Spy. Now, I haven't actually watched this yet. I'm sure there's a lot of footage that we've seen, but there will also be quite a bit that we haven't seen. According to Brian, there's quite a lot of stuff in there that he'd never seen before. So
that's pretty cool.
Definitely worth catching.
I always feel like behind the scenes stuff with Bond is always a really good watch, but I've never seen one that's 3 hours long. That's pretty. That's a pretty good little score. Yeah. That's almost as long as one of our podcasts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's pretty good. Might have a Sunday lunch and check it out.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch. That sounds.
And if anyone else has a watch, then let us know what you think as well. And, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. 3 hours of The Making of the Spy Who Loved Me. Bloody nice. So what else have we got? What other news have we had? We've got the bidding war between the distribution rights of Bond. Now, what does this mean for us, Chris?
Yeah. Well, basically, Sony came on board and they had obviously a certain length of time. Their initial contract went up and they extended it for Spectre. And previously they extended it for Skyfall, and then they extended it for Spectre again. Now it's come to the end of the contract, but the reason for that is, or at least it's coming to the end of the contract, is that basically, the massive hack that happened. So the co-chairman of Sony was Amy Pascal, and she had a really good relationship with Barbara and Michael. And because of that, I think that really helped Sony and MGM and Eon sort of obviously work together. But because of the hack, basically her whole inbox got dumped on the internet, so anyone could just peruse her emails from anything. This is a co-chairman of Sony, and so with that and the hack and the release of the script and everything like this, she basically resigned. Well, she didn't really have a choice, she kind of had to after that. And so Sony's obviously got a new sort of chair or co-chairman in place, who isn't as, the relationship isn't there. It's someone sort of new. So there were one of sort of three things that could happen. They could either, have chats with Sony, see if they can extend the contract again. They could potentially look at another distributor. Now, someone that's sort of not in league, but someone that's got another strong relationship with MGM is Warner Brothers. So they're at the moment, they're one of the highest contenders to take over as the next distributor. So instead of seeing the Sony Pictures, you might see Warner Brothers. Another alternative is MGM is a lot stronger position now than it was a few years ago. It always seems to be going up and down, MGM.
Yeah.
But and basically it was Bond that has always took them through the bad times. But now they have recovered. They're not sort of as strong as they were a long time ago, but they are getting better. So perhaps they could possibly distribute it themselves. So that's option 3. So we really don't know what it's going to be. It could be just MGM. It could be carry on with Sony. It could be Warner Brothers. We're not sure. But basically, for us, for the general Bond fan, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. You'll see a little different icon at the start, but that's about it. Just hopefully. Whoever it is passionate about Bond and, gives Eon what they need.
Oh, funny. How about that? Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's generally speaking, in terms of like the creativity of Bond and all that kind of stuff involved in making the Bonds, not going to make much difference at all, really. The only difference we'll notice, like you say, is a logo at the beginning of the movie. But
and hopefully there's not going to be a hiatus as well. That's the only other thing that might happen.
Yeah.
And we've had plenty of those.
We've had a lot of hiatus, haven't we, over the years?
Yeah, so we don't need any more of those if we can help it.
Stuff. Well, hopefully Spectre will be another billion seller, and then
I think it will.
and then they won't hang around. So next up, as came out a few weeks ago now, the next Bond Stars event at Pinewood is obviously a For Your Eyes Only themed event with some great guests and all that kind of stuff going on. That's in September.
That's right. Yeah.
Sadly, Chris and I won't be there. We can't make this one. But to any JBR listeners who do go, have a bloody good time. Make sure you wear your JBR t-shirt and enjoy yourselves. So it's a shame we missed this one, but I'm sure we'll be back there for next year.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And if any of the JBR listeners does go, it would be great if we could hear how the event went. Come back, we'll do a little interview, stick on the podcast. Let us know who you met. If you saw the film, whether you had a good burger. You know, it's all good. It's all
Absolutely,
good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Some on-site reporting, maybe that'll be nice.
Indeed.
So we can live vicariously through you. That'll be good. So next up in other news, friend of James Bond Radio, Mr. AJ Chowdhury, who you might remember from our kind of big Spectre revealed episode back in December after the original Pinewood press conference. He's got a book on the way, hasn't he, Chris?
He has. Himself and fellow Bond scholar Matthew Field. Now, they've been working on a book for several years. I mean, it might even go into decades of research and interviews and everything like this. So there's been a lot of time and a lot of effort put into this book. Now, this is called Some Kind of Hero, which, as we all know, is a line from your favourite Bond film. And it's basically the remarkable story of the James Bond film. So it's concentrated solely on the films, but they've had access to interviews with stars, directors, studio execs, various filmmakers and parts of the crew. So, yeah, obviously I haven't seen any of the content yet, but I'm imagining it's going to be a damn good read. But so that's due for publication in October. So a few months away yet, but I'm sure we'll get a few more juicy details on that before it's released.
It's got a good, it's got a good solid cover too. It's a good cover. So yeah, make sure you look out for that. Some Kind of Hero by AJ Chowdhury and Matthew Field. That's definitely going to be a good read. Now, in terms of sort of latest Bond news and speculation, not speculation yet. That's coming in a little bit, but speculation about the next James Bond actor. There's been some interesting things in the gambling houses of the UK, hasn't there, Chris?
There has. Now, it seems to be strange. We seem to get this new Bond every couple of weeks, don't we? A new, who's the next Bond? And, we've still got Craig to do another one. He might even do one after that. So it's all a bit silly. But anyway, the name of the week is Damian Lewis, the British actor, who is a really good actor. And he, the bookies have slashed the odds hugely on him being the next Bond.
Apparently, there's been an influx of bets, haven't there? Lots of people have suddenly put money down on Damian Lewis as the next Bond, so the odds have kind of shot through the roof. Apparently, and I believe he's the current number 2 behind Idris Elba as the number 1 slot. Apparently,
well, okay. Now, although I think he might possibly make a good Bond, and he's definitely a good actor. Again, he's like 44 at the moment. Okay, we've got Spectre to come out. We've got at least another one. That's another 2-3 years, possibly even after that. So you're looking at minimum of 47, 48, which is like Roger Moore territory when he started. So yeah, that's just too old, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can't see this one happening. He's a cool dude, definitely.
Yeah.
And remember the controversy with Daniel for being blonde. Damian Lewis is a ginger.
Yeah.
There is that to take into account. I can't imagine him getting too many positive headlines being a ginger Bond. But all the power to him if it does come off. Do you know I've actually worked with Damian Lewis, Chris? Have I ever mentioned that
have
before?
you indeed? Have you indeed?
I was an extra in Band of Brothers, and there was a little scene where I'm in the background. You can't see me though, sadly. He's chatting away. So if that does come off, I'm going to not stop talking about that forever. So that would be nice.
You've worked with James Bond.
Yeah, there you go. But I can't see that one coming off. I think if Idris is in the number 1 slot again, I would like to see that happen. Can't see it really happening. I can't see Damian Lewis being Bond. He is too old. My personal gut feeling is with Dan. What's his name from The Guest? that
Stevens.
movie. Dan Stevens. Yeah, I think that he's just the right level for it in terms of his acting sort of stature, where he fits in on the world. He's just kind of, he's not famous that he's kind of headlining big movies. He's just sort of known enough, I think. So I think that's going to be the intelligent guess, I would say. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think he's probably the leading one for me as well at the moment. But again, he's cool to sort of, I speculate, as one might say. But no, I think look again in 2 or 3 years' time, and then we'll see who's about and who's around. And he'll definitely be up there, I think, as one of them. But we'll have to see.
Definitely. So in other news, JBR's news maestro Linda Zhu has been blogging away on her This Week in Bond segments. And there's some great stuff to read over there. Obviously, covering the death of Christopher Lee. There's tweets from Sir Roger about that, and Britt Eklund and Sanchez himself, and all sorts of people kind of coming out in support of Christopher Lee. So that's bloody nice. Also, Sir Sean Connery himself has been spotted in Miami Airport, looking well. There's a photo of him over there, and I imagine if I'd have been in Miami Airport with him, I'd have walked straight past him, wouldn't have recognised him. I don't think.
Yeah, we don't see him that often, do we? He's normally. Is he still residing in the Bahamas at the moment?
I would imagine so, because that's where you connect. So if you go from the Bahamas somewhere else, you usually connect through Miami. So I imagine he's just on his way somewhere.
Do you think he was having a quick stop off in the Fontainebleau Hotel?
I would like to think so, yeah. But it's funny, isn't it? Because there was all those rumours about him having Alzheimer's and stuff like that. Sort of last year was that, or maybe earlier this year. And he looks fine, just strolling around the airport. So that's good news as far as I'm concerned. He's fit enough to travel and all that kind of stuff. So I imagine he's just kicking back and enjoying life, which he more or less deserves to do, doesn't he, really, at this point?
Yeah, too right. Definitely, without a doubt. And there was also a couple of other things that Linda was looking at. Pierce Brosnan was back in his homeland in Ireland, shooting some scenes for a film there, and I think he enjoys being back in Ireland, and that was for a thriller called IT. Now, this is referring to information technology, and I think it's to do with sort of computer hacking and stuff like that, but with a bit of action thrown in. So that's another. He's got quite a few films that's been coming out recently, hasn't he, Brosnan? So you've got a little. I still haven't seen November Man. We've got to check that out.
We've got to get involved on that, definitely. Yeah,
without a doubt. But yeah, he's got a good sort of influx of films. So we'll have to check out IT as well.
He's certainly churning them out, isn't he?
He is indeed. And we had a little bit more news about Trigger Mortis, that James Bond, obviously in Goldfinger, he drives the Aston Martin. Now, this is set only 2 weeks after Goldfinger, but apparently he's back in his Bentley for Trigger Mortis, so he's not in the Aston. So, yeah, Horowitz has confirmed that. So there we are.
Very nice. He's definitely one to follow on Twitter, Anthony Horowitz, because he's very sort of, obviously he's not giving away things he shouldn't give away, but he's very talkative about Bond, responds to a lot of tweets and all that kind of stuff. So
you can tell he loves it.
You can tell he loves it, yeah. So he in the lead up to the title announcement, he was like dropping clues in the days leading up to it and stuff. So yeah, make sure you go follow him over on Twitter. And if you see him drop any nuggets that we've missed, then send them over to us. So it's that point in the day, Chris, where it's time to talk about Spectre and some speculation. Very nice. So if you're a skipper and you don't want to listen to any Spectre news or speculation or just general banter and guesswork, then skip forward to
55 minutes and 45 seconds.
There it is. Good stuff. So you're in the naughty door once again, inside the naughty volcano on the naughty monorail.
Like
so there are no excuses for any overheard spoilers because you're in the door now. So first thing on the agenda, Chris, the sort of extended trailer teaser spot, TV spot thing. Have you watched it yet?
I have indeed. Now, I've literally only watched it 5 minutes before we started recording the podcast. I think I managed to watch it about 4 times within that time. And, it's good. Now, I haven't listened to your emergency podcast. I am going to do that pretty much, tomorrow. And And yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I went through and I was like, stop pausing on every little clip. So I could see every little thing. And there was a lot of good stuff. A lot of it obviously is action. You know, all the new stuff is some clips of various action, but there's some interesting stuff in there as well. And he says the line, man, and I think that has got to be the one with the biggest pause that I've heard.
Well,
possibly alongside Dr. No, maybe a bit longer than Dr. No, but I liked it. What did you think?
Do you know what? Right, I loved it as well, and it's different, isn't it? This is the most unique delivery, I think. And do you know what? The way he's doing it, he's like Bond, James Bond. He's kind of saying it like that. Obviously, a lot cooler than what I just did. But I've got a feeling. Go on, what?
So have I. No, because I think you're going to say exactly what
I've got
just
a
come into
feeling.
my head.
There's a reason for that. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason is that Lucia Sciarra is looking for Bond and she wants to kill him, but she doesn't know he's Bond at the time. And he says it to her like that because he's like, what's she going to do about it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Is that what you thought I was going to say?
No, it wasn't actually, but that's even better.
All right, cool.
It wasn't, but that's even better. My one was that that's shit. My one sounds so shit now. I much prefer your one. My one was like she was mic'd up and he was talking not to her but to whoever was on the mic.
Okay, that could also work. Yeah.
So he was sort of saying it so clearly to maybe like Spectre or Oberhaus was listening in. So he was saying it like that. But I much prefer your way, I think.
I just feel like that delivery, he's kind of like the way he says it, I feel like the name James Bond must mean something to her character for him to say it like that. And just the delivery of it, it's like, what you going to do about it? Do you know what I mean?
Well, we know that he chased her husband, brother, boyfriend, whatever it was, in the Day of the Dead scenes, didn't we? And we captured a couple of little snippets of that in the trailer as well.
Yeah.
So then we see the funeral, obviously in the original one, so we know that she's probably after him. So I think, I really like your take on that. I think it's good.
For me, this teaser is the optimal kind of trailer, like in the sense that it gives you the glimpse of what you're going to get without really giving away any plot twists and all that kind of stuff. I'm sort of the opinion, I think, that I might give the full trailer a miss because this is enough for me now. I've been teased enough. We've seen the car chase thing along the banks of the Tiber with the flamethrower at the back. What do you think about the flamethrower at the back?
So fucking cool!
Yeah,
I went. Oh, I love that bit. It was like, oh my god! There's so much cool car stuff in it. When you see the DV10 like burst through the roof of the other car, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? Yeah,
that was awesome. And then when they're going across, obviously you see the Jag is right behind him, and then the flamethrower at the back. It's almost like a flame exhaust, isn't it? But it just covers the front of the Jag, like, and then you see it just bombing down like a bit like the Aston in Living Daylights with the rocket thruster, and it's just bombing along. Oh, mate, I love that.
That is cool.
Really
do you know what? I have nothing but good feelings about this movie. The more I watch that little TV spot, the more I think about it, the more the ingredients are all there, and the more I'm excited about it. Those like that Day of the Dead sequence. And they also released that featurette soon, which I don't think you've watched yet. But the featurette about they interview a lot of the makeup artists who are doing all the Day of the Dead kind of people. And one of them says that she thinks this is going to be the most visually stunning sequence ever. And man, it does those scenes, those little flashes you see, it looks so incredible. Like, you remember when we saw the Skyfall teaser in the trailer and like the cinematography of like that shadow fight and him arriving to the casino and all that kind of stuff on the little boat. That was, I remember everyone was saying, man, this film just looks great. Like there's that look to it. And I think this one is taking it up a notch again. Like I just think that whole Day of the Dead thing looks incredible from what we've seen so far. I think that car chase around Rome is going to go down as a classic, man. That's right up there. And of course, like this is the first time we've seen a Daniel Bond car with gadgets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it was about time as well. It was nice to see him. You know, he had the DB5, he had the Aston with the little defibrillator sort of compartment, what have you. But now we're back to business. We've got a Q car and it's working. It's working well, damn well by the looks of it. But there's so much that we saw in this thing. So we've seen him obviously with Monica Bellucci getting up close. We see him with Madeline Swan as well, don't we? And they're kind of staring into each other. Lovingly, it must be said.
It looks like they're on a train,
affectionately,
doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
When I went through slow motion, the way the light comes past the window, I think they're in the train compartment. Which again, that's classic Bond, isn't it, man? That's like Live and Let Die. It's like
Bond on a train. So good.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah, so I think it was definitely on a train. Well, at least it looked like a train, and if it is, that would be so cool. So not only have we seen him with Madeline Swan, obviously with Lucia Sciarra, there's also a couple of other things we saw. We saw quite a bit of Mr. Hinks in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
Now, in fact, I saw him 3 times. One, he was in the car with Madeline Swan in the back. It's a bit like, like the still we had.
Yeah.
One of them looked pretty damn awesome. Basically, he sort of I didn't know if he broke a guy's neck or if he's just punching him or whacking him, but he took someone out, didn't he?
I think what he's doing is that head turn thing, turns the head quick and breaks the neck. Do you know what I think Mr. Hinks is? I reckon he's the Spectre executioner. He's like the new Morsley. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what we're going to see from him. Because that neck breaking thing was in the Spectre meeting room, wasn't it? So I imagine that's the modern down to earth version of the electrocuted chair. And because do you see there's that scene where somebody's being thrown over the balcony as well, isn't it?
Now, initially, I thought, was that Bond? But upon looking back in still shot, it definitely wasn't. But I was trying to, was it maybe? I don't know. I was trying to work out who was throwing and who was being thrown.
Yeah.
But I think that whoever was thrown probably landed on the table, probably a bit screwed up, and then Hinks finished him off, I reckon. Yeah. And that is the equivalent of the electric chair now, maybe something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
What were your thoughts on that?
That was pretty much exactly what I thought. I think that's a Spectre bad guy who hasn't done his job properly. They're angry with him and they're going to dispatch him in the middle of the meeting and use him as an example. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see Hinks doing that. Like I feel like that's going to add if he is indeed the Spectre sort of executioner, then that
I think he must be something.
Yeah, like that adds an extra sort of layer of darkness to him. I think, which is cool. Yeah, man, I'm just so excited for this movie. That car chase looks rad. Everything looks rad. And I tell you something I did notice as well is that everything so far is either very dark that we've seen is set at nighttime, or very bright in the snow. Like, and the snow is even murky, isn't it? Because there's clouds everywhere and stuff. Yeah. But it seems to be a lot of nighttime scenes. The snow scenes are obviously very white.
Both the Day of the Dead are quite. Day of the Dead is quite a bright
scene. Yeah, I don't know whether it looks sort of quite overcast. Maybe I don't know. It's got that sort of gloomy vibe about it, hasn't it? There's definitely been no sunshine that I've seen so far.
No. I guess that almost had like it did look quite dusty. I don't know if they were running about and stuff, but that had that. The ostrich scene, it is a good contrast, isn't it? With the night shoots, but we saw a lot of that. We saw Bond, obviously dressed a bit. Sort of kind of his commando suit with the shades on, shooting the gun, and the aeroplane that we saw that was coming down and the crash and stuff like that. So it was all looking good, man.
It is all looking good. And I just want to watch. Like for me, looking at that, that's just enough to tease and let you know what you're in for, and to just give you a glimpse of like how good this movie's going to be, without giving away the whole game. And I think in terms of trailers, that's probably going to be it for me. I don't think I want to watch the full trailer.
No, for me too.
Yeah.
For me too, definitely. What did you think? There was a very short bit where he's against a wall and there's like water beneath him. And I was trying to work out where it was.
It looks like he's in some sort of like flooded basement or like a building site, because there's a tape going across the bottom of the stairs, like a no entry tape or something. So that's completely out of left field for me. That I don't know how that relates to anything. So it's that's,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, what a rad trailer. Obviously they sort of condensed the first half that we've already seen a little bit. They just sort of chopped out the scenes of him on the boat and walking into Mr. White's house in Austria and stuff. But yeah, what a nice little surprise that was.
I'm gonna have another watch before I go to bed tonight.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So apparently, the old vodka martini is going to make a comeback, isn't it, in this movie?
I think we're slowly getting all these little bits and pieces now, which we haven't seen for a while. Like we mentioned, the gadget car, stuff like this, and it's almost building it back up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's precisely what they're doing, bringing in all those little classic elements again.
M's office, the hat stand, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man.
I can't wait for the M Bond scene.
Do you know what? Out of everything, and I know we've seen that clapperboard image that they put onto Instagram that suggests there's going to be a QLab scene because there was a motorbike with like a machine gun mounted on the front in the background, and I'm excited for that. But I think the thing I'm most excited about is seeing Bond walk into that studded leather door, into that office, and sit down across from him and get his briefing. Because it's been so long since we've had that classic dynamic. Obviously, he did that with Judy all the time, but it was like an updated look. It didn't have that classic look. And this is like going straight back to Dr. No, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I'm so excited for that bit.
So imagine if we see the pre-titles, we see the Day of the Dead scene, one of the best, most visual, exciting pre-titles we've ever seen. We have a killer theme tune with amazing titles, and it cuts to Bond going to see him. That would be amazing if we got that.
And hopefully M's mad at Bond for whatever happens during the Day of the Dead sequence. He's done something a bit sort of out of the box. M's a bit pissed off and he gives him a good old telling off. That will make me smile if that happens.
I hope that happens as well, guaranteed. I wonder if we do have the M Bond scene, I wonder if it will be directly after the titles or whether it would be a little bit later.
That's when I want it. I want it man with the golden gun style. Is what
so
I
do
want
I.
It. Yeah.
So do I. That's exactly what I want it. Because we know from some of the stuff that we've seen that there have been some shots of Bond meeting M in London outside restaurant at night and stuff like that. So we know that's later in the film. That's kind of like the equivalent of the inquiry in Skyfall. It's that sort of length of time, I'm assuming, within the film. What we want is bang up three titles, cracking title scene, Bond and M. I mean,
that's what I want. That's what I want.
And a gun barrel prior to the pre-titles.
Yes.
If we get it in that order, gun barrel, amazing pre-titles, brilliant titles, and Bond and M, I'm gonna literally I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's gonna be too much for me. I will black out, I think, and I won't even be able to watch the rest of the film because that will have just done it for me straight there.
I think I'm gonna have to double jacket myself if that was the case.
Yeah. Oh, man, imagine that. So you get the gun barrel. We've needed that for so long. Is the gun barrel at the beginning? Gun barrel at the beginning. A first class, legendary chase through the Day of the Dead. An amazing song with an amazing title sequence. The song ends and it's like, and then it fades, and then we're focused. We're focused on the leather door, and M going, Moneypenny, send 007 in, and then we see him walk in.
Yeah, imagine if the opening shot is actually a close-up of the red leather door, and then it zooms out.
Yeah.
And then you see the full thing. Oh,
yeah.
Come on, Mendes. Come on.
We know you listen to JBR, really. Come on.
Come on. Yeah, hopefully. So we got a bit of news on the actual filming so far. Obviously, the teaser's sort of showing quite a lot of it, but that we're sort of getting towards the end of the London sort of scenes now that are being filmed. There's been a lot. There's been a hell of a lot.
They've been out there every weekend, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been all good stuff though. So they've shot at locations such as the Freemasons Hall, the Gresham Centre, and that was a scene with Bond and Moneypenny together. There's been quite a few scenes with the MI6 team, with Bond, MQ, Moneypenny and Tanner. They've all been seen filmed together. And Bond and Madeline Swan had a scene around the streets of Trafalgar Square, and there was more. They were shooting in the Mall as well, and obviously a lot around Whitehall, which is pretty cool because it's sounding good. There was also the Admiralty Arch, which was lit up at night, and that was for a scene with just Bond and M. So that at night that would look pretty cool.
Yeah, man, that's right off Trafalgar Square, isn't it? Admiralty Arch. Yeah. But
you can just imagine that, like at night, lit up and just Bond and them. I think that would be a cracking.
Some classic scene. London locations, man. This is heating up nicely.
I'm loving it. We're gonna have. Oh, I was gonna say we're gonna have to get to some, but they're finishing now. It is a bit of a shame we're not sort of
not closer. I'm too far away, man.
Gate crashing, but there we go. So in regards to, so that's pretty much all the filming. So it's all London at the moment, but it's sounding good. So that's good. I think we'll get a few more stills of that in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Now in regards to other news, there's been another rumour mill about the theme song artist. Now, initially we had Sam Smith, and that's still a strong contender. Old Adele's come back into the news. Now, we had a few people saying that she's definitely going to be doing Bond 24, and then suddenly, no, she's not. It was just a rumour mill, and I don't know, I still think Sam Smith, from what I've heard, is the strongest contender, but we're never going to know until we know for sure, sort of thing, do we? What's your take on
do you
all
know
that
what
with
I feel
Adele
about
and everything?
this? This is just going round in circles, isn't it? It's like 1 minute Adele's doing it, then she's not, then she's doing it again, then it's Sam Smith, and then he's not doing it, and then somebody else is. I think it's just the press trying to just make something.
Yeah, it's just getting news. Trying to get their newspapers.
I don't think anybody, aside from the core Eon people and whoever's recording the theme, knows at this point. I think it's just anything we read about. I think pinch of salt styly. If Adele's coming back, I'd be like, oh, okay. I wouldn't be over the moon with it, because it's like, okay, we've already done that. Let's try something else. However, if the song was really good, then I don't care who sings it, to be honest. If she came back and it was a belter, then why not? Brilliant, bring it on. If it's Sam Smith, great. I mean, I'm not that familiar with the dude's music, but as long as the song's good and it sounds great, then
that's it, isn't it?
Who gives a shit, really?
A good song that sounds great and suits a film and suits a title scene. Boom.
Jobs are good and good stuff.
Right.
So, you know what it's time for now, don't you, Chris?
Go on.
It's time for the Bond Trivia Round Answers.
Okay, now this is going to be tricky. Bond Trivia. Everything's got an explosion these days.
Yeah, every single one. Yeah.
Every little one has. Okay, so Bond Trivia. So, no, I went first, didn't I? So, my Bond Trivia question for you, Mr. Thomas, is you have to match the cocktail with the film. Now, would you like me to run through the cocktails in a list first, and then we'll go for each one?
Yes, please.
Or just go straight ahead? Okay, so the list of cocktails we have are Vesper, Rum Collins, Mojito, Mint Julep, and Sazerac. Okay, so we'll start in reverse order, just to mix it up a bit. So, Sazerac, what film?
That would be Live and Let Die.
Applause.
Thank you very much. I can hear Felix Leiter saying Sazerac. I can hear it. It's right there.
You can. Good stuff. Okay, so cocktail number 2. This one I know you know for sure. What film has a mint julep in it?
That would be Goldfinger.
It would indeed. 2 out of 2 so far. Excellent stuff. Okay, cocktail number 3. Where and what film is a mojito?
That would be the greatest Bond film of all time, Die Another Day.
It would indeed. My God, you must love Die Another Day. Do you know that? I think your love for Die Another Day is just a hidden secret.
You reckon that's what it is? I'm just denying it to myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so we go with cocktail number 4 is a certain Rum Collins.
This one is the one I'm not sure of. This is the only one on the list I don't know. So rum makes me think of possibly the Caribbean. So am I maybe on a warm one there or not?
You were pretty close. Yeah. That's that sort of area, definitely for sure.
So okay, so it's not the Caribbean then. So it's close to the Caribbean.
No, it is. No, it is. It's that area.
A Rum Collins. I am going.
I love the logical stance you're taking with this.
Yeah,
this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
I'm not sure. I'm going to just throw it out there. I think it's either... I don't know.
What's your gut instinct?
I'm thinking it's either Thunderball or License to Kill.
I'll tell you, you are precisely right on one of those.
I'm going to use my powers of deduction and think, because you've given me drinks for the different Bonds, I'm going to go with License to Kill.
Mr. Tom Sears. No, it's Thunderbolt.
Oh, bollocks.
It's Thunderbolt. It's when he's with Largo, and Largo has a rum Collins. Rum Collins?
There we go.
When he's by the pool with Domino.
Yeah, you see, because you gave me a Roger drink, you gave me a Sean drink, you gave me a Pierce drink, so I thought, okay, well, maybe the next one's going to be a Timmy drink.
To be fair, I didn't give you a George drink either, but I do apologise. That was, maybe I was doing that to throw you off, but there you are.
All right,
but yeah, cool. No, so Thunderball for Ron Collins. So finally, last cocktail, what film? Vesper.
That would be Casino Royale.
That's half a mark.
It's half a mark. Okay. So, why would it only be half a mark?
Because it might appear in another film.
He certainly doesn't call it a Vesper in another film, though. Or does he?
No, he doesn't. But he has several of them in another film.
Quantum?
Yeah, when he's on the flight.
Yes.
And he's with Mathis, and he has like 4 or 5 or whatever he has Vespers, and he's like off his, feeling a bit bad when he's thinking about her. Good 88. Well, you got solid marks there.
Well, thank you very much.
So yeah, Rum Collins was a bit of a tricky one, but the others spot on, man.
I used my detective's brain though, didn't I? I thought rum, Caribbean. Okay, there's a clue.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Just like Bond.
Bond would have done. Exactly. Yeah. I'm holding my head high with that one. My question of the day, Chris, was: before being issued with his Walther PPK and Dr. No, what gun was Bond previously using? And I want the brand name and the caliber of the weapon, please.
Flipping out. Okay. Well, I know the brand name was certainly a Beretta.
Well done.
Now, in terms of the caliber, I think do you need a model name or just the caliber?
Just the caliber, the number.
Okay, I know why he had to swap it.
Why was that?
Because it jammed on his last job.
It did.
Okay, let me think. Caliber. So 7.65 is obviously the Walther. Beretta. I think the model. I know this isn't the answer, but I think the model was in Beretta M something.
Okay, I'm not looking for that bit. I'm just looking.
No, I know. I'm just trying to.
All right, you're just trying to get the brain working.
Yes.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a Beretta 5.0, Beretta 6, Beretta 4. Beretta 9, Beretta 8mm, Beretta. Oh, flipping hell, Tom! I think you got me on this one.
You sure?
Do they say it in the film?
I don't think they do, actually.
Okay, Beretta. I think it's a 418. But anyway, let me think. Beretta 9mm, Beretta 8mm. See, it's got to be a smaller gun than the Walther, one assumes.
Because it has to fit in a lady's handbag.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got to be under a 7.65mm. So Beretta 7mm, Beretta 6.5mm, Beretta 6mm, Beretta 5. I'm going to have to Beretta 6.5mm.
It is the Beretta 25.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So what's the caliber of it?
Your thing, it says 0.25. That's what it is, which I guess is the caliber. Maybe I've completely fucked it up and
no point. Yeah, no. 0.25
it says 0.25 caliber. That's what it says. Yeah. So there it is. Now, when you look at this gun, it's not a million miles away from the Walther in the way it looks.
No.
But it's very small, man. If you put Beretta 25 into the Google image search and have a look at it, it fits in the palm of your hand like a little toy almost.
Nice and light.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's obviously a great gun for a spy. But it's when you look at it, it does look like a lady's gun almost. Do you know what I mean? It's got that sort of that really small kind of.
It is small, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tiny. So it's interesting that was the Bond gun. And no wonder old Jeffrey Boothroyd wrote Fleming a letter to say, sort it out, Ian. That's not what he'd use.
No,
But do you know what I mean? Though, when you look at it, like the shape and sort of like the just the look of it is
Yeah.
a bit PPK-esque. But
it does look similar, but in the palm of someone's hand here, it looks like a toy gun. Almost,
does,
like
doesn't it?
very small.
it is
But
tiny.
yeah, made the right choice for the Switch anyway.
Yeah.
Well done, Jeffrey Boothroyd.
Yeah, well done indeed. So there we go. So there's the
Nice question.
the trivia round out of the way. Now it's time for the guess the quote round.
Bond. James Bond.
I like what you did there. Yeah, channeling Daniel in Spectre. I like it. Very nice. So it was my turn to do the quote last time, and I'm going to perform it for you again, and hopefully it'll jog some memories. So the quote is as follows.
Yeah.
You have a job to do. I expect you on a plane this afternoon.
Can you say it one more time?
You have a job to do. I expect you on a plane this afternoon.
Now, that's definitely giving vibes of M.
Is it?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's right. But it's probably not. Yeah, you have a job to do. I expect you on a plane. Can you, sorry, one more time.
You want to hear it again?
You
have a job to do. I expect you on a plane this afternoon. I'm going to start the countdown clock.
Sorry, man. And it's definitely not M.
It might be.
Oh, you bastard. Okay. Okay, sorry, give me 2 seconds. You have a job to do. Expect you on the plane this afternoon. The only one that I'd say would be M from License to Kill, but it's probably wrong.
Well, Chris, I've got news for you because it's absolutely right. Well done.
Is it?
Yay!
Oh,
it's in the scene just before Bond throws a hissy fit and resigns. And he's talking about going after Sanchez, and M's not having any of it. And yeah, that's what he says to him. So there it is.
Cool. Oh, nice one. Good delivery.
Well done. Good work that you pulled that together at the last minute. I'm impressed.
Yeah, only last. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, I've got a beauty for you. So I think.
I'm excited. I hope it's a female. They're my favourites.
Hopefully it doesn't sound too female. But okay, ready? I haven't said this to myself, so give me a second,
all right.
so I can. Okay, you ready?
All right, yeah, let's have it.
Oh, okay. Okay, here it is. Orinol ol Amarak, Kabul, Etchime, Soale.
Fuck me. I don't even know what that is. Let's hear it again.
Okay, sorry. Hang on a minute. Okay. Orinol ol Amarak, Kabul, Etchime, Soale.
Yeah, you've got me there. That's something.
Shall I try it again?
That's something.
I'll try to channel the person. I'll try it one more time.
Let's do it one more time.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Orinol ol Amarlak, Kabul, Etchime, Soale.
Yeah.
The laugh is part of it. That's not me just laughing at my own quote.
You've got me there. I'm not. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Hopefully that's going to be one of those that just jumps into my brain at least expecting moment. But yeah, that's a mysterious one. Yeah.
I'll try and get a better.
No, that's
delivery
good.
next time.
I just think it's one of those that I perhaps just aren't ringing any bells for me. But all right, I'll
just do the last bit. Maybe if I do the last bit, that might help because the other bit's kind of building up. Okay, I'll just do the last bit. Kabul, Etchime, Soale.
Yeah, all right, okay. I'm going to get my brain working, and I'm going to see if
it is a toughie.
Get that. That is a tough one.
Toughie.
Yeah, that's a beauty. All right, good stuff.
But
cool.
I wanted to bust out some more foreign language.
I do like those. They are my favourites. Yeah. Actually, I take it back. Yeah. Those are my favourites, and then the female quotes are my second favourite. Okay. Yeah, I like those.
What about when I get a female foreign one?
Then you'll have sorted it out. That'll be it. That'll be good. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so next little section is guess the music cue. So, what do we have last time?
So last time we had a good one, and well, I tell you what, let's just hear it straight away.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so there we go. Did you have an idea for that one?
I did. That's a piece of music that does stand out quite a lot. Is kind of unique sounding in the sort of Bond canon of music. So I don't know what the actual title of that piece would be, but it's when they're basically arriving in the helicopter in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Well done. And what scene? Sorry.
When Bond and Wylin are in their helicopter and they're kind of just arriving.
Super.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's it. Nicely done. Now I have to let us know that JBR listeners Matthew Grice, unsurprisingly, managed to get that, and also Sean O'Hare got that as well. So well done to those two. And anyone else who wants to guess on their next one, just send us a little message or a quote or leave a voicemail, and we will let you know next time out. So should we listen to the new Guess the Music cue for this
Let's
week?
do it.
Let's do it. Here it is. Okay, so there we go. What do you think for that one, Tom?
Well, that's definitely some David Arnold, because you've got the drum and bass drums going on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know what film that's from, actually. I feel like maybe it's The World Is Not Enough. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. I feel like it's a Brosnan. It's a Brosnan David Arnold, I would say.
Yeah, Well, what I'll say is I purposefully kind of picked this one because it was slightly similar to one or two others in other films. I'll let you know that you are definitely on the right track.
All right, cool.
So we'll have another listen next week and then see if you can.
Very nice.
Think
cool.
of the film or the scene.
Excellent work. So that's this week's Guess the Music cue out of the way. So which brings us on to Complete
the
Lyric
Section.
Another little rumbling explosion there. I like it. It's very nice. So I believe it was your lyric last time, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
It was indeed. So I will deadpan it and then do it properly.
Yeah.
Not properly. I don't think I'm not able to do it properly.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so here we go. The lyric was, hold your breath and count to 10. Now, would you like me to sing it in all of my bombastic vocals I currently hold?
I would like that very much, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, shit. Okay. Hold your... Oh, flipping out.
Come on, you can do it. I'm behind you, man. Come on. You can do this.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Hold your breath. No, wait a minute.
No, that was good. Okay. You're getting there. Come on, let's have it.
Here we go. Okay. Hold your breath and count to 10. What am I doing? I really don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Adele.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
This is how to murder a tune. Okay, so here we go. Hold your breath and count to 10.
Do you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Christopher Lee's Metal Christmas album performed by you.
That was a vibe I was going for.
Yeah, it was very nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously that's Skyfall. Is it Feel the Earth Move and then?
Oh, beautiful. Can you do a full rendition, including that? Not a full rendition, but including my line, so we can get to hear it sung properly.
Hold your breath and count. No, hold on. What was your line? I'm fucking up.
No, that was it.
Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move. And no, I can't even remember how the fucking thing goes.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Is that
you
how it
just
goes?
had it.
All right, cool. There we go.
Yeah.
Let the sky fall. There it is. Yeah, very nice.
Lovely,
Cool.
jubbly. So, do you have a new lyric for me
I do.
this week?
And I'm going to deadpan it for you.
Okay.
It goes like this. Hey, baby. Think you need a friend to stand here by your side.
That's ringing some bells.
I bet it is. Would you like me to deadpan it once more?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Hey, baby. Think you need a friend to stand here by your side.
I like it.
Yeah. There it is.
I don't know. It doesn't spring in straight away, but I think if I kept playing it, I might do.
I don't know why, but I went into my seductive voice then, didn't I? Hey,
You
baby.
did. I was getting kind of turned on, Tom. What's that?
Hey, how you doing? Maybe I should just use that voice for the podcast all the way through. That'd be very nice. Welcome to James Bond Mania. Very nice. So, which brings us up to the final segment of the day, which is the James Bond Celebrity Deathmatch. There it is.
Another one. Right, now, this is an interesting one because last week we had a tie, didn't we? We had... Well, we weren't sure between Blofeld You Only Live Twice and Alec Trevelyan GoldenEye. So what did we do? We put it to the vote. So we let our GB listeners have their say. And do we have any results or what's the sort of consensus?
This is what happened. Obviously, if you listen to last week's episode, we couldn't decide, could we? We just couldn't decide. So we put up a little quiz on the Facebook page for people to vote on, and we've actually got, there they are, there's Blofeld himself from You Only Live Twice and Alec Trevelyan. And we actually got the numbers from the JBR family. They voted, the people have spoken. And the results are as follows. Are you ready, Chris?
I am ready. Who is going to win?
Now, I'm going to start off by saying there was the option for Blofeld, there was the option for Trevelyan, and there was also the option of it being a draw. Now, the number of people who voted for a draw was 3.8%.
Ooh, that's not very many. That means people definitely had an opinion.
They certainly did. Next up, Trevelyan comes in with 61.5% of the vote, leaving Ernst Stavro Blofeld with just 34.6% of the vote.
Now, what do you make of that? That's basically... That's a big margin, isn't it? That's pretty much double.
It is.
Well, it is double, isn't it? I mean,
that's it.
Wow.
The people have spoken firmly in favour of Trevelyan. Now, we were thinking, weren't we, how in terms of the kind of the back and forth between those two and what they have at their disposal, you've got Blofeld and his volcano, he's got an army of people, but then again Alec's got his kind of underground base with his army of people. He's got the Janus group, and obviously Blofeld's got Spectre. Blofeld has Hans, whereas Trevelyan has Xenia, obviously, and it was pretty even matched, wasn't it? Well, I just don't know, but then when it comes down to a physical fight, then obviously Trevelyan would best him because he's a younger man, he's more physical, and Donald's Blofeld is a bit more of a sort of a weakling physically. So I'm guessing that's the angle they played. Now, I forget who said this now, but somebody on Twitter, I apologise for forgetting who it was, said that Alec has the advantage because he would just trigger off the GoldenEye satellite above the Spectre base and just waltz in, and Blofeld would be without power. And now I think there you go. I think that does it, don't you?
I think the way that people were looking at it was, if you're looking at the technology that Blofeld had back in 67 and the volcano and stuff like that, and then the technology which Trevelyan had access to and power over in the mid-90s, like we said with the GoldenEye satellite. I mean, Bird 1 wouldn't be able to fly. That sort of
his monorail would be completely neutralized.
His monorail. I mean, he'd be pretty bad then.
Yeah.
I think on Blofeld's sort of behalf, his reach does extend beyond what was in the volcano, even though we might not have. I mean, we saw obviously Sato, we saw Helga Brandt, we saw his influence spread outside of that, but in terms of sort of the advantage that Trevelyan had with the technology and everything, I think you just got to give it to JBR. The listeners have spoken, twice a vote. There we go. Even though Blofeld is such an iconic baddie, and perhaps if there was someone closer to his sort of time, then there we go. But in this instance,
Trevelyan wins.
The people have spoken.
Trevelyan wins.
He does. Now I've got a nice little load of winners sort of coming
The
together
Champions
now to
League.
do a future one. Exactly. So we're on to the next round of Celebrity Deathmatch. So I'm going to give these a little shuffle. We're going to do our usual trick of I'll spin it and you tell me when to stop, and then I'll do it again and you tell me when to stop, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so just give them a bit of shuffle. Okay, so are you ready, Tom?
Yes, I'm standing by.
Okay, here we go. Ready, go.
Stop.
Okay. And that's number 1. And let's see who contestant number 2 is. Ready, go.
Stop.
Okay. Right, let's have a look and see who we've got this week. Okay, so it's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
One of my personal favourites. We have in the red corner, Dr. No.
Oh, very good. A very powerful start. Yes.
Very powerful start. Okay, would you believe it? In, I suppose, the blue corner, we have Mr. James Bond from GoldenEye.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
So there we go. So we've got Brosnan's Bond from GoldenEye versus Dr. No. Now, what do we say about that?
Now, this is interesting, and I did have this thought the other day, and I don't know how you feel about this, Chris, but I thought maybe we should remove all of the James Bonds from the top trumps. Because ultimately what's going to happen is when we go through the Champions League, the Bond is always going to win because he always wins, right? And then,
but then we'll get Bond versus Bond.
Exactly.
And then we won't know what to do.
But and then either that'll be a standoff or just Connery will win by default.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
true.
How do you feel about that?
I tell you what, I'm happy to take Pierce out, to take the other Bonds out and go again.
Yeah, let's do
Should
that.
we do that?
So we've got Dr.
Okay,
No.
let's
Let's do it again.
So
Otherwise,
Pierce, well, I'll put Pierce and Sean from the previously. They're in the Hall of Fame anyway because they are Bond.
Of course.
I'll quickly get rid of any other. Oh, there's Daniel. There's Roger. I'll quickly get rid of those. There's George. And I think there's Tim. Right, cool. Okay, so I'll keep Dr. No out. So we got Dr. No.
We got Dr. No.
And so pretty much, obviously, we've taken Bond out.
Yeah.
So the majority are going to be villains now.
Cool.
Which is obviously pretty cool. Okay, so here we go. Ready?
Yes. Stop.
Okay. So facing Dr. No, we have. Oh, this is a good matchup. We have Necros from the Living Daylights.
Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting one. Yeah.
Now this is very interesting. So, okay, so we got one guy with metal hands who's probably one of the cleverest guys the world has seen. The criminal brain is always sort of successful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Genius sort of guy. He's obviously a part of Spectre. So he's got influence. He's like I said, he's got these strong metal hands. He's clever. He's calculated. He was always one step ahead of Bond.
Yeah.
He's physical as well. But then on the other hand, you've got Necros, who's great at strangling people.
Yeah.
He can speak loads of different accents. He's good at sort of changing his persona and his.
He has exploding milk
and,
bottles.
Well, he definitely has exploding milk bottles. As well, which is great, and a Walkman which sings a song.
Where's everybody gone?
I like that song. It's great.
Yes. So okay. So
think?
let's weigh it up, shall we? So we've got Necros, who's very physically able. Now, Dr. No, on the other hand, he's not shy of getting involved in a fight, is he? As soon as he sees Bond there in his base meddling with things, he gets stuck in, doesn't he? He doesn't mess about. He's straight in there.
Not at all.
And he does have metal hands, which I imagine would really fucking hurt if he punched you.
Well,
so
you see him crush that ornament.
You see him crush the ornament. Absolutely.
And, Necros wouldn't have been able to do that.
No, that is true. So I'm inclined to think, okay, the way Necros kind of operates is he's sneaky, isn't he? He's in disguise a lot of the time. He comes up behind people to strangle them and things like that. So I think that would be Necros' strength, is the sneaking up behind and strangling or coming in disguise and chucking a milk bowl. Now, I'm inclined to think that Dr. No is too smart for the sneakiness, because if you think about it, Bond picks up the knife off the table, he's spotted it. He knows what Bond's thinking before Bond has even thought it himself. So Dr. No is too switched on to be fooled by that, I think.
And I think there's also something else in favour of Dr. No. He only ever resides in Crab Key. Now, as everyone knows, you know, you never go to Crab Key in daylight, and it's permanently got machine gun armed guards on patrol. Not only that, you'd have to go through a swamp, you'd have to get past the dogs, you'd have to get past the dragon tank to get in. And even then, Bond was captured and brought in. He didn't break in, did he?
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you've got all this going on. You've got all the, you know, he's got an army as well, Dr. No, with him down there, you know. So you've got Professor Dent, who might hang around with a tarantula or two. So it would be a hard thing to actually get to Dr. No to be able to do any damage to him, because he's so well protected.
And I feel on Crab Key, he's got all those guards. Necros is going to stick out like a sore thumb, being like a tall blonde-haired dude. He's not going to be able to dress. I mean, I suppose it depends on who delivers the milk to Crab Key.
That is very true.
That is a potential weakness.
And whether Dr. No has milk in his tea or coffee, or whether it's just the cards.
That's true. He might be vegan, in which case he doesn't have it at all.
No, it's just Sister Lily and Sister Rose that meet their end with an exploding milk bottle. Yeah.
So okay. So my gut feeling says Dr. No wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely going to go with Dr. No. I think Necros would actually do quite well. I think he could do the sneakiness to get to the island. I think he could definitely deal with quite a few of the guards.
Yeah.
I think he could use it, you know, he could use the milk bottles to good effect as well. He could use a Walkman to strangle quite a few. Yeah. I think he could certainly get to as far as the swamp. With the dragon tank, maybe he could use the milk bottles to even stop that and get the guards inside.
Yeah.
But it's the getting into Crab Key that I think would be tricky. And even then, Dr. No's not an easy win. He's tough and he gets involved. So I think in this instance we'll definitely have to go with Dr. No.
Yeah, I think even if Necros got past all of those hurdles to get into Dr. No's base himself, he's then got a physically best Dr. No. And I would say Necros is probably physically stronger and fitter, but Dr. No has the metal hands and he's not shy of getting stuck in. So I think the award for this week goes to Dr. No. Yeah.
There we are.
Round of applause.
Champion for this week, Dr. No.
So who have we got in the Champions League so far?
So far we have, I'll let you know now. So obviously we have Dr. No, we have Alec Trevelyan, we have Baron Samdi, we have Goldfinger, and we have, by default, Emilio Largo.
There it is. Very nice. Cool stuff. Good stuff. So that just about knocks this week's episode of James Bond Radio on the head. So just to kind of recap, basically we're just mixing up the format a little bit. We thought we'd just experiment with some new stuff and see how it goes for a little while. So you will be getting new episodes each and every week. And we'll be, we'll still be doing the same stuff that we always do. We'll still be reviewing the movies and the books and different things, but we're going to have more room to do sort of more specialist things, like we say that upcoming episode all about Christopher Lee and things like that. So we're going to be able to sort of go deeper on some subjects that perhaps we wouldn't have had time to do on the previous schedule. So it's going to be good fun. I hope you enjoy it. Let us know how you feel on the social medias and all that kind of stuff. But I'm feeling good. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I love it. I think like a podcast every week, you can't get better than that.
There you go. You can't.
Apart from one every day, but then what would we do?
Yeah.
So we've got a podcast every week. I think we can safely say that next week. Can we say that what we're going to be doing next week? Not fully, but just to say what it is.
I would say we have. Well, you see, what we did is I got a bit too excited, and I put out a clue for that episode on Facebook this week, but it's actually now going to be next week's episode. So the clue, I guess, what we could say at this point is it's an interview.
Yeah, there we go. It's an interview, and there's a clue on the Facebook page.
There you go.
Which we put out recently.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And the interview has already been in the bag, and I've got to tell you, it's a bloody good one. It's it's quite possibly one of the most entertaining interviews we've done, with some amazing stories. Yeah,
really good. Really, yeah, it's great stuff. I want to watch it. I want to listen to it straight away. So yeah, great stuff. I'm looking forward to that.
Cool stuff.
There we are.
Okay then. So
Back
until next week, James Bond Radio will return with a mysterious interview with the mysterious guests. Until then, I've been Tom Sears.
I've been Chris Wright.
And we'll see you next time.
We will indeed. See you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.